Hello again. This is Math 2233 coming to you from the College U page. And the title of this lecture is Low Stakes Assessment 1, some content and some clarifications. And I note the same way as I often do, please be an active learner while watching this to make sure that you understand everything that goes down. First thing, what I'd like to do is make some clarifications. These may or may not be necessary, but I had several students contact me today with questions that I thought I'd answered, and maybe they answered them before they asked the questions before they looked at my answers. But anyway, my general approach to this class is I'm going to send you a whole bunch of announcements, and the announcements are how I'm sort of guiding us through the course. And every time I send an announcement, or almost every time I send an announcement, I will send an email to your COD email. So these are things that you really should look at and really should understand because they do explain things that are useful for you to know. I also do keep a running list of the announcements. So in case you say, gee, I remember seeing an email about that, but I don't know where the email is, you probably can look in the announcements and find that. And again, you're using your dupage.edu email for this. So let me give you an example of something that falls into this category. So earlier today, I guess, I sent you an email where I told you about my office hours. And I have AM office hours and PM office hours. My AM were from 6:30 to 7:30 AM and my PM are from 9 to 10 PM. And so that's when I'm going to be at these various Zoom addresses. This thing, I was doing some work and I was doing some email and I noticed that a student stopped in at 8:55 this morning to into my morning Zoom email. Well, I wasn't there because this is when it is. So do pay attention to these. Treat these announcements as things that you do want to understand and maybe refer back to. Some more clarifications. Beginning next term, we're going to cut off Calc 2 up here. Now, every time I've taught Calc 3, and I've taught it a number of times, I always had to get a running start here because I never was really sure if everybody in the class had done this vector stuff recently or if they were good at it, if they did it at the beginning or the end of the term or whatever. So I am just anticipating what's happening. And so we are going to, as by way of review and getting a running start, we are going to be doing these 4 sections, but we're going to be doing them pretty briefly, and then we'll go into the new stuff that's in this course, and the whole chapter will be in the course beginning next term. You're the last Calc 3 class that has this cut off in the middle of a chapter. So anyway, we will be covering this stuff, and we will be having homework. And in fact, this is what I have already provided lecture material for. So we're reviewing that, and so on and so forth. We do have 2 kinds of homework, and there'll be homework from the book. And by the way, I tend not to lecture directly from the book, and so the examples that you read here are different examples than the ones that that I am usually doing in the lectures. Okay, so there's 2 kinds of homework. There is graded homework that will be called low stakes assessments that you will return in. But in addition to those, students are recommended doing problems from this book. And I start by saying, well, there are the answers to the odd problems in the book, so doing all the odd problems would be really good. But suppose you say, I really don't have time for that. You could do every other odd problem or every other odd problem, and so on and so forth. But this gives you a range of problems. So that's one kind of homework. The other kind, though, that's getting graded is low stakes assessment. Now both parts are important, though, because I could very well ask you questions that come from either low stakes assessments or the problems in the book. These are the lectures that I am providing for those first 4 sections, and these are going to be the subject of an announcement you'll find in your announcement. So read these carefully, listen to these, I encourage you to use pencil and paper and actually work through and try to do the problems that we talk about in these video lectures. I am launching with this discussion now, though the low stakes assessment, I call it low stakes assessment 1 for Math 2233. We'll say what it is. The edge of a three-dimensional cubic box has sides of length 1 meter. The box contains 9 incompressible spherical balls with the same radius. The center of one ball is at the center of the cube and it touches the other 8 identical balls. Each of the other 8 balls touches 3 sides of the cubical box. Thus, the balls are tightly packed. What is the exact value of the radius of the balls? R. And I am saying exact, so it could be an irrational number, and you are to clearly explain your reasoning. So where you will find another statement of this low stakes assessment is in your syllabus tab. That's where your syllabus is, and that's where I will put most things for you to look at. So there's your low stakes assessment that is sitting there, and there's a copy of it for you to read. We're also going to use this as an opportunity, though, to practice some things we're doing. So how do you turn in the low stakes assessment because we don't meet? And what you're going to do is you're going to go to Blackboard again, and there's a tab called PDF Upload. So you're going to go there. And this is not the only low stakes assessment. This is not the only exam we'll have, not the only assessment. So you want to go to low stakes assessment 1. So you click here. It takes you to this, and you can click there, and this is where you can upload a PDF of your response. Now there is a due date. This is due this coming Friday at midnight, essentially midnight, 11:59 p.m. And so you attach a PDF file. Now this is the only way I want it. I don't want you sending me megabytes or gigabytes into my email and things like that. You upload them here. So we're practicing this because this is the way I'm wanting you to turn things in. And you can do it any way you want, but here's a good way to do it. Print this off, do your work, take a picture of your work using a cell phone and using the app of your choice, but I think Microsoft Office Lens works really well. It will change this into a PDF, which you can then upload here. And so that's how you will be uploading PDFs, and that's one of the things that we'll be practicing. So when we come to the midterms and final exams, you know how to do it very well. In closing, now more than ever, time is precious. Each day must count. Do the math, it'll make you strong. And now more than ever, take care of yourself and of each other. May God bless you all.